Hello and welcome to Comedy in a Nutshell, a podcast where comedians are briefly treated like experts before revealing they mostly rely on momentum, instinct and panic. Each episode we talk about jokes, performance and the unrealistic optimism required to say, I've got a new bit. It's a show about funny people attempting to unpack comedy without ruining it. I'm the comedy nerd who's seen more than 2,000 different comedians perform live comedy, and you can find out more about my journey in comedy fandom on my website, thecomedynerd.com. Please also take a moment to like, subscribe, rate, review, and share the podcast. Thank you. My guest this episode is a Lebanese stand-up comedian, entrepreneur, and one of the biggest comedy stars to emerge from West Asia in recent years. Performing in Arabic, he's built an international following with sold-out shows across Europe, North America, Australia, and the Gulf, turning stories about marriage, identity, and the chaos of adult life into deeply relatable comedy. This year, he takes his first stand-up show performed in English to the Edinburgh Fringe. It's comedian John Achkar. When you think about comedy as an influence on you, was it a big thing growing up?
I think it was the biggest thing growing up. I cannot see my life without comedy. I managed through comedy to make friends. I managed through comedy maybe not to get bullied when I was younger. And it was always part of who I am. So I became the person who I am today through comedy. If it was when I was a Boy Scout, when I was a student representative at school. So I remember my life before comedy and after. So before comedy, I was a shy boy who barely has had some friends, I had in mind that I don't want the recess to happen because I have no one to hang out with. I remember even the year where I started to make jokes out loud, and we had like small social activities at school, and it was a bunch of girls, so mainly the popular girls at school, and I started to make some jokes. They were laughing. They were telling their friends who were the bullies that John is a cool guy, and he make good jokes and everything. And then literally everything has changed in my life. So for me, comedy is the essence of everything. Like there is one day the therapist asked me this question actually, how comedy is important for you, and for me it was, this is my life. There's no me without being a comedian. Yeah.
But you didn't go into performance initially. You didn't study performance. You studied business and economics.
Yeah, I studied economics. Then I did my first master degree in international relations, 1 year in Beirut, 1 year in Paris. And then I did my MBA degree in Singapore Management University and IE Business School in Madrid. So for me, I feel somehow I'm maybe a little bit overqualified for this job. But also this helped me to deal with this job as a proper job. So this helps me to manage my career according to the business acumen and how things should be managed.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I mean, how specifically did business impact your comedy and vice versa? How does comedy change the way you do business?
Well, very good question, because actually, I'm not, some people will say, especially people who I used to work with before, that I'm cursed of having this business acumen, that as a comedian, I should be fully into comedy and not to care about the business part because I should be 100% artist. I don't think this works, at least from where I come from, because where I come from, like from Lebanon, we don't have like subventions. We don't have support for artists. We don't have like, okay, as an artist, we will invite you to these festivals. We will pay you this amount of money. You get a little bit, you pay less taxes because no. They don't care about everything. I don't even consider, they don't consider comedy already as an art form, and the whole artistic field is not being taken care of. So, for me, the only way to make it in comedy is to have these both hats. So this both, or hats better. So the hat of an artist when I'm writing, performing, which I love, and I wish I can only be this person. I wish I can only be the person who's writing and performing and reading and watching other comedians. But I have to wear the second hat, which is the entrepreneurship hat, or like I need to take care of my business. I need to work off my business as any other business. So there is how to create awareness, how to create conversion, how to make sure people are coming and actually buy the service, which is your show, and then how for them to come back again.
Mm. So I can understand how entrepreneurship would affect your practical decisions in terms of being a comedian and the business side of comedy. How does it affect your creative decisions?
Yeah, this is a tough one because sometimes for business reasons you have to take decisions that are against your artistic direction. And I will give you a very specific example.
Mhm.
Everyone now does crowd work to put them online. I was the first one in the Arab world to post crowd work. And then my performance coach, I have a performance coach. His name is Rafi. He's based in Amsterdam, and he's a close friend of mine. We were on a call, and he asked me, "What are we doing here? Why are we posting crowd work?" I told him because it gets traffic. I'll go viral. People will come and watch me. He said, "Yes, but why are we doing crowd work? So why, from an artistic perspective, how crowd work will help us to build a certain narrative? How crowd work will help us to for people to understand who are they coming to watch before coming to watch. So people, when they go to your show, there is a certain arch
Mm.
that they have already in mind. So this is he the person who's bullying people? Is he the person who's just asking stupid question to the first row, or is he more than this? Okay, and I stopped. I stopped. You might find something very now limited, and we are very strategic and posting this stuff. But I mean, now if you go on my page, mainly the page is in Arabic. Still, we will talk about it. But so if you go on my page, it's 90% content. Not all of them good content. Not all of them, but 90% something I want to say, something that I really crafted. Okay, I wrote this bit, and 10% maybe crowd work. So now, if you tell me, I'm always overwhelmed by other comedians. Now in the Arab world, crowd work is booming, and the world crowd work is booming. A
Mm.
comedian who has only been once on stage, he will go, "Yes, I will post this crowd work. It was great." And for me, I know that I'm getting overwhelmed. I know that my entrepreneurship mindset will say, "Oh, what a great way to create awareness on your brand." And then I will say, "Okay, but this is not sustainable from an artistic point of view. There is something you're losing this connection." For me, comedy is about building communities. For me, comedy is about building trust. For me, comedy is about
Mm.
going in this room and laughing together, not at the other people. And so that's it. Yeah. So this is a good example of how sometimes I have to stop and reassess things. Say, okay,
Mm.
okay, fine. It will take me longer, but it will be more sustainable on the long run.
Yeah. So getting into comedy then in the earliest days, how much did it fulfill your expectations of what it meant to do live comedy, or how many surprises did you encounter?
Wow. The first time I started comedy, and here we're talking about in Arabic because I
Of course.
started, forgot to mention this. So I started everything in Arabic in 2011.
Mm.
I wanted to raise money because I wanted to take my scout boys. I know maybe in the Western world, scout boys is not doesn't maybe they don't have good reputations everywhere. So I'm just talking about my country. It's a good way to socialize. It's a good way to build the next generation on good principles, at
Yeah.
least.
I was in the Boy
Yeah.
Scouts. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Okay, so
Yeah, yeah.
so I wanted to raise money to take my Boy Scout into a trip to Turkey, and we didn't have money for it. So I said, okay, let's do all of us. Let's go on stage 5 minutes each. I I barely knew about stand-up comedy, so I only knew what Gad El Maleh does. You know Gad, like he's a French Moroccan.
Okay.
He also did in English, one special on Netflix in English, and he stopped. But Gad El Maleh, he was my inspiration. I
Mm.
only knew comedy through Gad El Maleh DVDs. So this is it. This is everything I know about comedy. And I said, okay, we will go on stage. We will do stand-up comedy, and we did it. We did it, and everyone was great. This night, I remember that a lot of people came and they told me, okay, John, everyone was great, but you shouldn't stop this. There is something. And I remember this feeling exactly what it was, that I'm saying things on stage and people are laughing. And I said, whoa, what a superpower I have. Why these people are, yeah. How this happened? How this happened? And then I stopped. I stopped for like 5, 6 years. And until 2017, I did my proposal for my girlfriend back then, because then I got married and I got divorced. But back then it was like she was my fiancée, and we didn't have money to get married. Okay, so and I had the stupid idea, what about if I do stand-up comedy? And I started to do open mic. It was just started. Yani in Lebanon, the first open mic was in 2017. I subscribed to the second open mic. Like it started, let's say, April 5. The next week I was there on stage and it went really good. And since 2017, um, in the beginning, from this feeling of waiting the booker, because we only had one booker, to call you once every 3 weeks to give you a stage time. And then everything you will do during the 3 weeks is just to listen again to your set and say, oh, that was a hilarious night. I will, and then that's it. Like imagine just waiting for 3 weeks just to get rebooked again. And then after the 3 weeks, you really wish you will have a great night, so they might rebook you again. And everything was in the hands of few handful people that they decide, which is not the case, by the way, today in 2026. Now social media decide. They will book you. You have 600,000 followers, you will get booked in whatever situation you are. So before it was more, then you have to wait and prove them and then call them, hello there, and then make it as if you're not asking about the booking. How has it been? It has been a while. And then you show up to the comedy club just to say hello. And then, yeah, so yeah, it was, in the beginning, it was more like this. In 2018, they chose me by mistake to do a 20-minute set, so they wanted to put it on a local platform. Why they chose me by mistake? Because they had to choose 6 comedians, and they came and they told me, okay, we had the 6 comedian in mind, but the six traveled to Qatar, so she don't have time to come to the shoot. So we said, okay, for you to come. That was it. So they chose me out of, let's say, the best back then, or not the best, but like they chose 6 performers to go on stage, and I was chosen this way. So they told me, we didn't want to choose you, but the 6 performer traveled, so we will get you on board. So I said okay, and sorry, in 2019 this happened, and I was going through a divorce already, and I didn't have any set except my marriage set. So I went on stage while my wife is already filing a divorce 2 months ago to talk about my marriage as if nothing happened. It was because I didn't have any other sets. Like, imagine, and I was wearing my ring back then, and I was complete denial, complete denial. So I went there and I taped it in 2019. It took them 1 year of editing, and they decided to publish it during COVID, March 2020, to publish the fact that I'm married. And actually, in my life, I was already on Tinder, you see, and it created a whole mass, Mark. Like I was matching with girls on Tinder. My videos were viral online, saying that I just got married. Yes, it's insane. And then explaining the whole situation. Oh no, I did this in 2019. But you told me, but your wife wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't there, but I wasn't there mentally as well. That she left home. So then it didn't get a lot better. So this is the thing, that every time you expect that this is your breakout, how you say it, this is your moment to shine. So
Yeah.
I thought that this was my moment to shine, but it was okay. Especially during COVID, theaters were closed. We didn't have a lot of gigs, and I met my wife, now my present wife, and she had the job offer to Dubai. So I traveled with her to Dubai, and I was going through the lowest moment of my life. I didn't have money, I didn't have proper income, and to live in Dubai on the expenses of my partner was a lot. Like coming from my culture, like,
Right.
and it's not like something. Okay, it's fine. No, 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 it's not. It's not for me. Even she wanted to help me with all this, and I felt super not happy with what I was doing. I already had a small family business and trying to get things done in Dubai. In parallel, a little bit of comedy. But why I'm mentioning this moment? Because I had to wait until May 2022, my lowest moment ever. I had no money, like to the point that usually, because there was an economic crisis in Lebanon, people were writing on Instagram, if anyone coming from Dubai to Lebanon, we want to send cash money to our families. I was writing the opposite. If anyone coming from Beirut to Dubai, I need some cash. Okay. And in the lowest of the lowest, okay, I went on stage in Dubai Comedy Festival. I got invited to perform only 5 minutes, 5 minutes. And the weirdest gigs ever, full of drunk people. No one cared about me. While doing this gig, I was thinking, what the fuck? Why am I still doing this? Why? And it was in English. It was an English 5 minute gig in English. And during the gig, I was thinking when I should stop, when I should say to myself that comedy is not working for me. And this is where I did 5 minutes. They sent me the video. I decided to post 1 minute out of the 5 minutes. 1 minute, not for any specific reason. I said, okay, I will start posting online. It was the second video I post online. The first video didn't get any reaction. It was the second video I post online. 9 million views. I was already living in a different house than my partner, but she like we were dating again. So we went into a breakup, but we were dating again, and she was staying at my place, and she woke me up at night, and she was, John, it's 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 6 million. I woke up the next day. Everyone recognized me in Dubai, and the taxi driver, the security guy. I had the meeting, everyone was taking pictures with me. And then I remember this feeling. I texted my partner, I told her, I think my life has just changed. And then you mark, I'm still in this moment. Like for me, my life changed in May 2022. Now I'm in May 2026. I think I capitalized on every single second of this moment. Like, yeah, I know that comedians sometimes they have highs and lows, and sometimes a reel goes viral and then they don't know what to do with it. I think we managed it the best way possible, and this all comes from my entrepreneurship background. And this is a huge opportunity, and it's now or never. I did everything. I did everything. We did a first world tour in 2023, 25,000 people globally. In 2024, second world tour, 50,000 people globally. Last year, 2025, a third world tour, 70,000 tickets sold globally in Arabic. Okay, and I still believe this was the moment, but it wasn't the only moment anymore. So after I was taping, I was posting, I was taping again, posting again, and now I'm taping. Now my special will be released on the biggest platform in the Arab world. It's called Shahid. It will be released on May 27. So this is a huge, because it's the first time an Arabic speaking comedian has a proper 1 hour show that is published on a streaming platform. Netflix had this once, and it was a very bad experience, but the quality of the footage, it was taped at l'Olympia in Paris, 2,000 people watching the first time ever at l'Olympia, a stand-up comedy in Arabic.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did it. And we did it all because of this tiny moment that started a mistake back in 2022. Sorry, I talked a lot, but you asked me about it.
I mean, that gig at Olympia, Paris Olympia, you're quoted as saying it was about proving that Arab comedy deserves to stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's best.
Mm.
I mean, do you consider that a triumph for Arabic comedy or as a triumph for you personally?
No, I think we can only think about comedy when it's a collective thing. There is no way for us to thrive as comedians if we don't support together to thrive all together. Because even in the English scene, and this is something I learned here now, I'm based in Montreal for a few months.
Hmm.
There is something that people want the scene, not the only the comedian. So you go on a open mic or on a lineup,
Hmm.
you might do the best. You might be the best in the lineup. Okay, you might, but it's not enough for people. People want the whole lineup to be a good lineup. You don't want people to come and tell you, "Oh, you were the greatest today." You want the whole night to feel as if it's something they will remember and they will come again to watch this lineup. Definitely, there is a lot of ego.
Hmm.
Definitely, there is a lot of me and selfishness in this field. And you know more than anyone else. I read you. I think you watch more than 2,000 comedians
Hmm.
globally.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so you know more than anyone else that selfishness and ego. But at least where I come from, because the scene is very nascent and the scene is there is no one like we are five people who are touring, and all together, if you bring us all together, we only manage to perform in front of 1 million people all together, like all the comedians who are touring for in Arabic. And then I feel Olympia, it's something for others to like, we want to open the doors to other to perform more. And this is what I do on daily basis. So on daily basis, like here I'm in Montreal for a few months.
Hmm.
I supported comedians to have their scene in Montreal.
Yeah.
I will be in Beirut in a few months. I will open the door for comedians to do open mic and to do lineups. And because this is a must for us in the Arab world, our voices are not heard enough yet.
Hmm. Well, how do you find that performing an Arabic? I mean, you've played all over the world, like you say. You've mentioned a few cities there. How do you find that comedy transcends the cultural and national borders that you've crossed? How is your comedy received differently in Beirut as it is in Paris or Montreal?
Mm. Okay, there is one thing I have in common sometimes with people in Paris and Montreal
Hmm.
more than the people in Beirut, which is that I'm an expat myself. So because I moved to Dubai in 2021, so I think there are a few things that I have in common with these people elsewhere. And there is
Hmm.
a common denominator across people living abroad, that they miss their country, that we are lost in translation, that we
Hmm.
don't know who we are. We are lost. Even for Lebanon and for let's talk about Arabs in general, because we are very family oriented and
Hmm.
we feel that this is one of our top values. So we travel for work and then we say, oh, but our families are there. So we have to go there. We spend all our vacations instead, like people living in Montreal, instead of going to the US or the Caribbean or to visit something here, they spend all their money and their savings to travel once or twice per year to Lebanon. So there is something in us that is we in Canada or in Dubai we feel that we're Lebanese, and then when we travel to Lebanon we feel that we're Canadian or people from Dubai. So they will call us like, "Oh, you're coming now from Dubai and complaining about electricity." Yes, I am exactly. So, or oh, you're coming now from Canada and I don't know, complaining about opportunities or whatever. So this is something I have in common, and I feel that the more you are real to yourself. So if I'm talking about a real pain from the inside, and people will feel that this pain is real, they will empathize with the pain, not with the story itself. So the
Hmm.
story translates a certain pain that all of us can empathize with the pain, because maybe people didn't live this journey of traveling abroad, but maybe just they moved houses in Beirut.
Hmm.
Across the street, they felt something weird with maybe the day they decided to leave their parents' house was an important thing for them. So I feel I'm not sure if this translates well in English, but me, it's very personal what I do. And for me, comedy is about removing all the mask, being yourself. I'm still discovering in English, I don't think I got there yet because I'm still struggling sometimes with the language, with how I perform, with a lot of the things that when you got 4 years, 5 years in, or many shows, and you feel okay, now you are yourself. You know it also. Like you feel a comedian, he's himself. Like this guy, he's saying it as he would say it for himself. So still, I didn't get to this point in English, but in Arabic, I'm almost there. So people will. What I love about my comedy in Arabic, what people tell me, and something that sometimes I had this incident. I was in Tunisia. Just for you to know, we have nothing in common with the Tunisian culture. Like the Arab countries are very separate. Like even the dialect is different. And the producer, he picked me up from the airport, and I had the show directly after. Like he picked me up from the airport. There was delays, so I got to Tunisia, to Tunis, to the capital at 5 p.m. Let's say the show was at 7. So I went straight to the venue and I went on stage and I performed 1 hour. It was great. I went off stage and the producer, I asked him, "Oh, how did you see?" Because I'm intrigued to see how Tunisian reflect to my show. He told me, "John, your show is exactly the continuation of the conversation we started in the car. It's not a show, it's you." So so it's you. Like we started a certain conversation, you continued the conversation on stage, then here we are. Now we're having drinks afterward.
Yeah.
So this is the difference for me between Arabic and English, and this is why I feel in Arabic it translates well. In English, I should maybe have more stage time and practice, and this is why I'm doing Edinburgh this year to practice this, to see how when I would be myself fully in English. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you've used the theme of failure and how it's not like the end of things.
Yeah.
And it's part of becoming who you are. And you're just talking about being who you are on stage. So if failure is part of becoming who you are, how do you define success for you?
Success is when I get a message, a DM by the end of the show, for me, someone saying, "John, uh, we loved the topics you mentioned, and we're still discussing them in the car."
Mm.
For me, this is, I want people to reflect. So, and if it's the beginning of a reflection, and not to make it cheesy, and not to make it a TED talk, and not to make it uh, so easy to like to say it. "Hi guys, I'm here to." I just want people to reflect. I
Yeah.
do believe I only do comedy for social and political impact, and I really want people to leave the room not saying this is the most hilarious show, because I think now you can make it. You can bully anyone on stage, and it will be the most hilarious. But I don't think this is really. I think now the levels of, because people you can see insane things on social media. You can see that this is not, for me, this is not comedy. Like now there is a trend in the Arab world that everyone, I don't know if it exists in the US as well or in the English scene, that you go before going on stage, all the audience will write stuff, stupid stories, okay, and then the comedian will start reading these stories. No, no, no. This is the most annoying, and I think, yeah, it is hilarious. Yes, but you can leave the show with nothing. Actually, you can leave the show with negative. يعني. It affected you negatively without you knowing that it affected you negatively. So for me, success means that the best feeling on earth is that even 1 month or 2 months after my show, "Hi John, we were at your show 2 months ago, and I just had this debate with my parents." And it's crazy. It's crazy, and to make it memorable, and yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. What about comedy for you? I mean, you've been in it for a long enough time now. Do you still watch comedy? Are you entertained by it? Does it still inspire you and motivate you and entertain you, or is it just part of the work now?
No, for me, this is my life in the sense that if I'm not performing, I'm watching other comedians. So I'm watching their craft. Maybe I'm watching them in different way than in the beginning. So now
Mm.
I go to study comedy. I go and if a comedian managed to entertain me, I said, whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. I'm here to study. He shouldn't like I'm here to study the bit, not to. And I'm so amazed and I'm learning a lot, a lot, a lot. I'm learning from open mics to lineups to huge comedians. Like I watched this year John Mulaney twice, the same show. I watched him the first time in Dallas and then again in Montreal. And I was there, like, I wish I have a notebook, like, if they can allow you to have a notebook, and then if it won't look weird, just it has nothing about the jokes itself or the bits or the stories, but it's about the magic he's creating on stage. And I really feel I'm learning as if it's my first day into comedy. So I'm there, my eyes are open, and like I'm fully on it. Like I watch also Nate Bargatze. No, no,
Mm.
this is how Nate. I watch him here in Montreal in a huge. Also, I like to watch the difference between the setups, big theater, stadiums, small rooms,
Mm.
and to see the connection. How I was amazed, and you learn that you can watch Nate on TV. It doesn't translate as well as you watch him in a stadium.
Mm.
It doesn't. For me, Nate is a pure. Also, it's about the whole brand, like having his opening acts who are comedians under his. I think he called it Nate Nation, Bargatze Nation, something like this. It's a whole umbrella for comedian where he does podcasts, where he does sketches, where he does skits, where he does so many things. And you feel this gig, this 1 hour gig, is part of something way bigger that you want to explore. It's so different than only watching the set on Netflix for 1 hour. It's just you go there, you wait. There is things happening on the screen. Yeah. So I'm learning a lot as if it's day one in comedy.
Yeah. I mean, well, you've got your figures in many pies as well. I mean, as well as co-owning your board game and party brand, everything. You've founded your own comedy club. You're a corporate trainer. You're a satire show host.
Mm.
All these things going on. Where are you at your most comfortable? Where are you happiest? Is it in writing comedy, performing? Is it variety that keeps you happy? Where's your happy place?
Yeah, the stage. Like being on stage every single day. If it's a big stage, small stage, medium stage, no, I don't care anymore. Like really. And this is the thing about Montreal that here I'm performing every single day in French, English, or Arabic.
Mm.
And I feel the difference. I feel the process, the different, the even I'm growing. Like I feel how I'm performing in front, even some gigs like 10 people, 12 people, 5 people. Like I feel this is what I want to be to keep on doing for the rest of my life. Definitely, there
Mm.
is nothing else. All the others are byproduct for me. Like okay, to facilitate workshops,
Mm.
people love it. I love it, but it's a byproduct of what I learned in comedy. I said, okay, this is, it's also my entrepreneurship mindset. So there is the main thing, what I love to be on stage every single day, but then being on stage every single day helped me understand so many things and it might help me sell so many other things. So, but being on stage is why I'm here. Being on stage, yeah, if I'm getting paid or not, it has nothing to do, really. Like really it has to do with the feeling I have with the connection with the emotion with like
Mm.
I'm so happy, Mark, that I still have this feeling that if I go on stage to perform for 6 minutes and I try 2 new minutes, I feel so happy when I go back home. The same happiness as if I did l'Olympia.
Mm.
So for me, I go back home and my wife will tell me, "Why are you so happy?" And I tested 2 minutes; they were amazing. I was thinking, but I think you should be a little bit like aim, like we knew that you will do good 2 minutes. And for me, no, 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 Katya, you don't understand. People love this theme, which means I can go deeper and deeper. This is a great thing to venture on.
Mm.
And yeah.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned about coming to the Edinburgh Fringe this year, of course, and straight away you might win an award just for the length of the title of your show, or even a world record. Tell me a little bit about the show and why you've chosen now to perform a full hour in your third language.
Okay. So what happened that I felt now for my fourth, because I did a lot of work in progress shows and testing shows for my a new 1 hour in
Mhm.
Arabic, that people are not only laughing because the bit is good, they are laughing because they know me. And I feel sometimes I have these first 10, 15 minutes that people are just happy that I'm here, which is amazing. And I really appreciate it. And I really am thankful and grateful for this trust that I built. But also, this is scary on the long run
Mhm.
because I'm not sure if they are laughing because it's my bit is good, is well written, or it's only, okay, John makes us laugh. Huh? Okay, great. This is amazing. Okay, so I said I need to do it differently. Let me test the bit itself elsewhere
Mm.
in front of an audience who knows nothing about me. Nothing. Like people won't cheer when you hear my name in the lineup in a club in Montreal. People said, "Okay, who's this guy? Who cares?" Okay, and then it was Mark. I had it was very funny. Like I did my gig like 5 minute routine on stage in Montreal, and then there was a random guy who happened to be Lebanese but who didn't know me,
Mm.
who's a comedian as well, and he didn't know me, and he only performs in English. And he came and he told me, John, let me tell you something. If you continue like this, you will reach places with comedy. I was, yeah, I know. I already, I already reached places, and but I loved it because like this guy only gave me this feedback from a 5 minute set that when he watched me in English without knowing where I'm coming from, without knowing my whole history in comedy and everything. So this is what I want.
Mm.
And I also I felt ashamed back then in Dubai with my English accent. Okay, by the way, now in this interview, it got so much better, and it's not good for my show for it to be better because it's part of the show. But now I realize I'm getting a little bit better in English. But the idea is to say it in your accent without being ashamed of your accent and saying it the way you know how to say it best. Because I don't think people relate only for you. Um, if your English is good, they relate on your story as well. They relate on. They don't want your English to be good. They don't care. For them, sometimes if your English is so good, it's like I read an article that writers are making mistakes on purpose just to show readers that they didn't use ChatGPT. Okay, and their articles, and I feel that people are looking for something genuine, something real, something
Mm.
where they feel you. They feel that you're saying the truth. It's not like it's crazy. A friend of mine is performing in London, and he told me he went to English courses, English accent courses to make his comedy better. I told him, bro, I don't think it's the accent. I think it's the bit. It's not what people want accent. People they want people, and you see now in the English scene, even on Netflix, comedians are going fully with their accent. Latinos, Arabs,
Mm.
it's you. People want you. People, and this is something I will try to translate in English
Yeah.
in Edinburgh, hopefully. But in Edinburgh, the difference will be, so now I'm at my fourth special in Arabic.
Yeah.
In Edinburgh, I'm just giving so hi, my name is John. Here is who I am. If you want to know more, wait for me for my next specials in English. So it's like I have three specials in Arabic that I made one special in English out of the three of them, just for to let people know who I am.
Mm.
And I think this is where it should start. It's not the end. Edinburgh is another trial and error. It's another failure. It's another. openness for failure. Okay, so for me, it's another way to portray who I am through Edinburgh in a different language with different people who never heard about me.
Yeah. It's an interesting take because, well, let me read the title of the show. So it's his country is collapsing. He's having a baby. So obviously, this is the right year for a Lebanese comedian you've never heard of to try English stand up for the first time. I mean, quite the title. So when you take that mouthful into a 60-seater room in the caves in an afternoon slot at Edinburgh, it is a very different side of the spectrum from the fact that you've just come off performing 85 cities. You've performed to 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 3,000 people, and now you're in a little dank cellar. And
Yeah.
people coming in won't know that you've got this business acumen that you've built up over years, this comedy back catalogue that you've built up over years. You, as you say there, you know, a Lebanese comedian you've never heard of. How do you, in your own mind, reconcile the fact that you've performed this big tour and now you're night and day between the two different areas of performance? Is it just in the language alone, or is there more to it? Is it kind of a back to basics, back to roots kind of idea as well?
Yeah, I think Mark, you said it perfectly. It's back to reality because this is what is real. And I always felt that performing in front of 2,000 people, it somehow on certain variables and aspect easier than performing in front of 40, 50 people because there is contagious laughing, there is big production, there are people who paid a huge amount of money who want their investment back. So they want the return on investment on the ticket, right? And here we are back in Edinburgh, people paying £0 or £5 or £10, and then they will come out of all the other comedians who are doing amazing job. I was there last year, it's insane. I was watching 8 shows per day, and for me, you have even if you don't want to compare, you will have to compare, and even if you will say, okay, different acts, his story, no, you will have this, and for these people to give me amount of their time to come and watch me with all the different options. I know that the first day I will have maybe less than 5 people. Okay. But for me, these 5 people, they don't know me. They will maybe by mistake because another venue was full, so they are coming to my show. Maybe it's they had another comedian in mind and they booked me by mistake. You don't know, that. And they are there now to have this moment, this conversation. This is powerful. This is different than a comedian going viral, so everyone will come to watch just because they want to tick the box and post a story on Instagram that we've been to a John Achkar show, which is amazing, and I'm so grateful and thankful for this. But there is something different. There is something in the rawness, and the reality and the connection that is in the very. It reminds me the very very early, like the 2011 moment where I was racing fund. Except in Edinburgh, I'm losing funds. But other than this, but everyone thinks I'm crazy. Literally, ما يعني except my wife who understands exactly why I'm doing this because she went with me to Edinburgh last year and she was John, you have to, it's you. I was happy kid. I was living my Disneyland moment in Edinburgh. Oh, let's see this guy, and I was like, yeah, I have to be there. I have to be there just because I have to be there. It's not, I don't know why I need to be there. It's me. It makes sense, right? So this is exactly what I'm living right now. It might be but for me, it wouldn't be the worst thing ever because I went through a divorce already. No, but I mean, how worse it can be, and how bad it would be. If no one will attend my show, that's fine. I will go and watch as many shows as possible, and maybe next year I will do something different to promote my show. I'm not sure, but let's say where it can go wrong spending 1 month in Scotland watching comedy every single day. So for me, it is what it is. It will be a great bit in the Arabic comedy later. Guy tried English, it didn't go well, and here I am. back to my Arabic comedy. So that's it.
You've said it there, that there's every possibility that people might come to your show based on another show being sold out. I mean, Edinburgh is a very competitive environment competing for the attention of audiences with thousands of shows going on. Do you have a competitive streak? Is it part of that competitive spirit to pursue comedy and to push forward and push forward? Is that the entrepreneur in you also?
I'm playing the Edinburgh game. So in Edinburgh, they tell you you have to give flyers, you have to talk to PR companies, you have to get a good producer, and that's it. So and you should have like a minimum of online material or online presence. So in case people might check you out before going, but I don't think people in Edinburgh check a lot. So for them, it's mostly about the reviews, mostly about we're checking the boxes literally. Like we went there, we said, okay, you need to have flyers done, you need to have posters done, you need to have good PR done,
Hmm.
you need to have good interviews like the one we're having right now. And this is important to build momentum. People want to know who you are,
Mm.
and we're doing the game as I would do as an entrepreneur. Okay. But then this is within my circle of influence. A lot can happen. Now, maybe a huge comedian will have same spot, same day. People will go there. Maybe he has 1,000 theater that he wants to fill. He will have posters on the airport. They will have. I'm not sure. I'm doing it the way I was told you
Mm.
should be doing it. I said, okay, I will lose this amount of money for me to try something different.
Mm.
And I'm ready to bear all the consequences. So I will put everything I know and within my within my influence, and then we will see how the result will be. I really want my team to focus on all this and for me to focus on the craft,
Mm.
because I really don't want to work so hard to bring all these people to the room and then they will be, oh, that's it. We thought it would have been better. So I wish I can only do this. I wish I can only work on my craft and to write something solid. So at least something engaging, a good story.
Mm.
People will leave the room having something in their mind to say, oh, this was different.
Yeah.
Okay. This was different is a huge in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
This was different.
Well, do you think that in your career so far, you can isolate a single best and worst moment that you've had through comedy, through being a comedian?
I think I know the best moment definitely l'Olympia was a huge milestone, but also another milestone, and maybe it can tell you the person I am from the inside. So
Mm.
when I went to perform in Syria, after the change of the regime, 1 year, I waited 1 year just to see. And already some friends, they started a scene there called Styria. And I wanted to go there just to support them.
Mm.
And the repercussion were huge because it was a huge moment for a Lebanese comedian. I didn't know. When I went, I went. I didn't know that it will have this huge media coverage in Syria, specifically a Lebanese Christian background going to Syria,
Mhm.
performing there in Damascus, two sold out shows in 1 hour, and then going again for a second time, and then going again
Mm.
for a third time. Even the third time was 1 week after a small mini war that happened in Aleppo. So,
Mm.
because the second time I was supposed to go to Damascus, then to Aleppo, then to Tartus. And then a mini war happened in Aleppo. So we opened two shows on the spot in Damascus. So we sold out another four shows in Damascus. Then we said to Aleppo people, okay, we'll go to Tartus now, and then we will go to Aleppo another day. So I waited until ceasefire was signed. And then 1 week I was like, Aleppo, I'm going this Saturday. And people went crazy. People went crazy. How the hell someone who's like has anything fine in his mind, he would say, I will go to Aleppo 1 week after the ceasefire. And people, they loved the show, even if they didn't relate to the show. My show was all about finding success, traveling the world, doing paragliding and skydiving and sailing. And I'm in Aleppo. The city is in ruins.
Mm.
And people were there. This is something, and I understood that the people were there not laughing about the joke, but enjoying the moment that we are connected together in this room. And like they just want to forget everything that's happening in their cities and then just to enjoy one moment of pure happiness. It was so pure, Mark, so pure. Look, I have I always cry when I talk about it because it was insane. It reminded me why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm doing what I'm doing because I do believe in connection. I do believe that people should feel this moment. It's insane. Like people from different backgrounds living a moment of truth, a moment of rawness, a moment of real connection in this room. And I think this until now could be the best moment of my life.
Mm.
Uh, the worst moment will be definitely in Edinburgh. No one will show up to the show. Definitely will be a moment that will be engraved in my memory for years. With everything, you will have two audience members fully drunk, coming fully drunk, and not even knowing why they are in this room. Yeah. So we had bad shows. We had bad shows. We
Yeah.
had bad shows. Really bad shows. Like no one laughed or bad shows that you feel there was something of. Most probably it's my mistake.
Mhm.
Uh, it took me a while to understand that it's always my mistake.
Mm.
So if the venue is bad, it's my mistake because I selected the venue. If the crowd is not happy, it's my mistake because I didn't know how to address the elephant in the room. If I don't know if the room was cold, it's my mistake because I didn't fix this before going into the room. So yeah, it took me a while to understand this. Before, as comedians, when you start, you blame everything except yourself,
Yeah.
and then yeah, and then you learn it the hard way. So it's you, it's everything is you. The stage time is you. If there is not if there is not a proper scene in a country where you are based, go and build the scene.
Mm.
And this is my mindset now. So if there is no open mic, try to knock as many doors as possible, and then you will have to do your own open mic. You will spend money, you will put ads, you will do everything. You will go to reach deals with venues. But yeah, I had shows, I had shows in Dubai where people were playing darts, watching soccer while I was on stage. I had shows where no one cared about me doing the show. And like, yeah.
Yeah.
I did private gigs for birthday parties for 10 people. There was me, and after me, the stripper came. Yeah.
On
Yeah.
just on what you were saying about the performing in Aleppo, you reminded me of a quote. I think it's from an American philosopher. Their name escapes me, but their quote you very much reminded me of, which is, "We don't laugh because we're happy. We're happy because we laugh."
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Do
Yeah.
you think that there's a lesson that you've learned or a philosophy, something that you could be quoted on that you take forward with you from gig to gig?
Uh, Fail more often and fail really fast. So fail more often because it's the only way to grow as comedians. I'm sure you met a lot of comedians who are stuck with their 5 minute set for the last 10 years, doing it over and over again, or still making jokes about COVID in 2026. But I would say, I would say because there is something that make them stuck, which is their fear of failure. They know that this bit works, so they don't want to try something else. And I think this is where people get stuck. They stuck because they don't want to lose this moment of laughter. They think that they might lose it. They don't know that they will get a better moment later. And for me, you have to fail faster because sometimes I'm sure you definitely met this type of comedian who are still working a certain bit for the last 5 years and it's not working. And they insist that it's the crowd problem, not their problem. So for me, you have to fail fast. So if it's not working, it's not working. Jump to something else. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe later, maybe later in your career, people will understand this gig about Ninja Turtles and on a spacecraft, spaceship. No one, now no one got it. It's fine. It's not. It's happening. So, yeah. So So that's it. This is yeah. So you need. I cannot apply this on to myself. Really, it's something I wish I can apply. I don't have the maybe the power, maybe the guts. So even now performing in English, when I started from scratch in Montreal, I have 6 minutes spot. I still have in mind. I have to impress the producer. I have to impress the booker. I have to impress the owner of the bar. I have to impress the guy with the shaker who's shaking drinks while I'm performing. I have to impress the other comedians. And I say, okay, I will do 4 minutes old material and 2 minutes new material. I have written 6 minutes of new material. But I say, no, maybe these people will have. Sometimes I create. Reasons like, oh, today is not a good night, I have to perform well. Today is a great night, I cannot go less than this average. But sometimes, and the best feeling in the world, I go there and I say, I will test a new bit, and it works.
Yeah.
Okay, and the best feeling in the world, I test a new bit, it doesn't work. At least I'm relieved that I tested it. As I said, okay, I tested it, it won't work. Let's jump to something else. Yeah.
So how can people find out all about you and where they can come and see you perform?
So it's on my Instagram mainly, John Achkar, John Achkar on Instagram, John Achkar on TikTok, and the John Achkar on YouTube. The brand is very consistent, as you can see. Three different, or on the website johnachkar.com. But people will find it difficult to find the English. We're trying to mention it everywhere on all our socials, but yeah. So, in case people are in Edinburgh and they come to work, just send me a DM and I will guide you. It's on all my platforms and on my website. But in case they are lost for any reasons, we will help them out to find the show, because we need people to come. We need.
So we come to my final question, and of course, it's always the same. It's the title of the show. John, how would you sum up comedy in a nutshell?
Uh, it's being yourself in front of others, and being yourself more than you are yourself sometimes towards yourself. So it's you, being the real you, the real you from the inside, that you sometimes scared to look at you at the window, at the mirror. So this is you. This is something, and you can feel it, man. You can feel it. You know that this person is himself, and you know that this person is not himself, and you know that. Yeah, so I think this is why people are still going to live shows, because this is the connection we're trying to build. Yeah. So being true to yourself, even if you're not true to yourself in real life, you have to be there on stage, true to yourself. Yeah, that's it.
John, thank you so much for being my guest. It's been a genuine pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for hosting me. Really, I really enjoyed this conversation.